It's a privilege, first and foremost. I've been following you.
Actually, we've been following you.
Well, I appreciate that. I am proof positive that a law of attraction works. I was sitting there going, oh, it'd be great, I would love to. And here I am, so it works. I've always felt like I'm destined for greatness, not fame, fortune, but to help people, because I've had this unbelievable journey to this point. And it's sort of like from foster home to Ferrari kind of thing, ups and downs, that I want to motivate and be an inspiration to people. And I'm close, but I don't know what vehicle.
Would you like to hear our perspective of the greatest value of your story?
Yes. If I could stop shaking.
The sentiment that, and lots of different ways will come about for you to convey this, but this is the most valuable message that you have to convey. The contrast and what I formerly described as sucky life that I lived has served me enormously well. Follow up with a statement that goes like this: everyone who is now in a place of living happily ever after one time stood about where you're standing. As someone is in an uncomfortable place, these are the words of reassurance, because you don't want to talk about overcoming in the sense that there is something to be overcome. You want to soothe where they are, or the overcoming can't happen. What happened with you that made you begin to believe in possibilities?
When I was 14 years old, I had a terrible accident in school. I had my face melted off with sulfuric acid, but we didn't have any goggles or any eye protective. So as horrible as that was, I mean, honestly, in front of a bunch of strangers, I've never kissed a girl before at 13 years old, and my face was completely gone. I still had this sense of gratitude, because a half-inch higher, I would be blind. So out of that, I was grateful. But the bigger part of that was the school started to implement safety procedures, eye goggles and rubber aprons. So out of that, I would like to think that that was a benefit of my misfortune.
Do you think there was a sudden experience that you lived that caused you to begin to look more optimistically at your life? Or was it just a gradual, experience by experience, looking for the positive aspect amidst wherever you are?
Gradual.
And was that intuitive, or did you learn it from someone?
Intuitive.
That's what we're talking about. And so fostering that God-given natural intuition that is within everyone, with an understanding of what has carried you forward, that is of great benefit to anyone who will listen. And law of attraction will match you up with those who are ready for that. Something specific that you're wanting from us?
Something drew me here. I know that you were in Denver. I couldn't get there, and I wanted to be here. I felt this strong, like I needed to be on stage here with you. I can't explain it, but...
Well, it's because you are an uplifter to the core of your being. You are a teacher.
How do you know that, though?
Because your vibrational blueprint is so accessible to us. Because we read your vortex, we can feel the intention with which you were born into this physical experience. And most important, we can feel the intensity of what you are vibrationally expressing right here and now. And we want to say to you that the vibration of your desire and the vibration of your right now projection, based upon what you're thinking about, are so close together that it's really easy to read you. You can all read. It's what you would describe as sincerity, isn't it? Which is resonance.
I think a lot of people think I'm crazy. They either get me or they don't get me, and I'm actually tired of trying to convince people or show people. Like, I have a lot of energy.
Well, this is the reason that we say to Esther on a regular basis, understand it, don't try to explain it. Because when you try to explain something to someone who's not in the place to receive it, you're offering an electrical current that they've got their circuit closed, and you get electrocuted. Just know it. Don't need for them to know it. Because when you know it, law of attraction will bring to you those who are ready to know it. But when you try to give what you know to someone who's not even yet asking for what you know, then it's not fun for either one.
Right. That makes sense.
And that's the most important thing. Someone said to Esther, you should work it out. And you should get Abraham their own radio station or their own syndicated television show, because Abraham needs to get out there where more people can hear. And Esther says, I don't want to go anywhere that anybody can see Abraham that's not ready and wanting Abraham. Esther says, I'm just going to put myself in as many rooms like this, where as many people like you can get the impulse to come, who can receive what Abraham is offering. It's law of attraction at its best, you see.
Mm-hmm. I see it was a mindset, and I see all kinds of different people and situations and opportunities coming to me because it's a positive mindset. I'm not living in the past. I'm not living with drama. And I've cut out all friends and family members that are drama. Like when someone comes to a room, I can see a black cloud over them and say, whoa, or the white cloud. And I'd rather deal with people that have the white cloud because I understand that they'll understand my energy.
Here's something that you're really going to appreciate right here and now. Because within many of those that you are avoiding are aspects that you would like to rendezvous with. So sometimes by making a decision based upon their inability to receive you, you miss the best part of them and they miss the best part of you. So that's why we're saying just don't try so hard. Don't make it so important that they learn or receive anything from you. Just live the clarity of your example and let them get the piece of you that they're ready for. Because there are plenty of rendezvous points that you may be missing. Someone will say to us something like, oh, it feels so good to know this, and it feels so good to live it, and it feels so good to see the improvement in my own life experience. But those people at work are so negative. And we say, as long as you're finding those people at work so negative, you're not where you think you are. Because when you are really in the receptive mode, you're finding positive aspects in them wherever they are, you see. So this is something that Esther has just come to understand fairly recently. Surprised her how far along understanding she'd come before this one made sense. She really thought, as we talked about all of the processes and as we talked about feeling good, that it was her job to do enough focus wheels or do enough placemat processes or do enough meditation that everyone she encountered would receive benefit from her right here and now. And when they didn't want it or didn't like her or were critical of her or more, she thought she was doing something wrong. And then we explained to her, Esther, law of attraction will take care of that. Those who aren't ready for you will go over there while you go over there. Don't try to manage or manipulate law of attraction. You just get in sync with who you are and let law of attraction bring to you those who are ready for you. And you'll know it right away. You'll know it right away.
I think that's what I'm doing. I've released all of, release and let it go and go with the flow. I absolutely feel like I'm becoming the person that Source wanted me to be. Gave up cigarettes, got my black belt. I've achieved some really...
But you see, it's not like that. Source doesn't want you to give up anything. Source isn't trying to get you to be different. Source is taking you as you are and calling you to what you've said you want to be.
I understand that.
There's no outside thinker who has defined the standard by which you should live. Only your own life experience and what you've launched forward. But you've lived a long time. In other words, there's a part of you who really knows what love and joy and all of that is. And so when you understand that that's what your inner being is always doing for you, then it's easy and delightful and delicious for you to be that for others. Most people are living a pretty conditional life because you want to feel good, and these people that you're describing as leaving them behind, you didn't leave them behind. Law of attraction left them behind. Law of attraction said, not here, not now. Not here, not now. But it didn't say, oh, you should have gone over there and taken hold of their hand and you should have been able to lead them to the place that they want.
Which I've been doing. And I finally get tired. I'm like, all right, how many times am I going to, walk into the wall before I use the door?
Well, if you've got some resistance going and you don't realize it, don't worry, it'll get bigger. Mm-hmm. It'll get bigger. And then after a while you say, hey, wait a minute. You are an uplifter for sure. But you came to align with who you are and to teach the clarity of your example. Not one of you came with the conditional motive of getting others to understand and agree with you before you could feel good. And that's the piece that trips most people up. Most people really don't feel that good. Esther would say to Jerry, let's have a talk about this. I really want to know what you think. And Jerry would very wisely say, I don't think you really want to know what I think about that. I think you want me to agree with what you think about that. And Esther would say, oh no, that isn't it at all. But it was. That was what it was. Let's talk about this until we are in agreement. And I'm not moving. So that means you got to come over here where I am. And when you get it, that everybody gets to define their own desires and is doing that, and that among those powerful desires is connection to this source energy, to be truly in the replenishing mode. You all, and we're talking about all of you, didn't come to find your joy in specific ways. You came to find your joy and to allow others to find their joy. It's the thinking that it needs to be this way or this way or this way that trips you up. How dare you be happy over something I don't believe in? How dare you find success with a process that I've already deemed inappropriate? How dare you connect with your inner being because you have intentions that have never even occurred to me? In other words, there's a lot of conditional love going on, but once you connect with that broader part of you, as you do so often, then it's easier to just let others be however they be. Here's the most interesting thing. There are many people up close and personal to you who are, in terms of law of attraction, not cooperative components. Would you agree to that? What are you going to do? Persuade them? Good luck with that. What are you going to do? Contain them? What are you going to do? Eliminate them? What are you going to do? You were born into all of this balance. What are you going to do when you are consciously aware that there are conditions and thinkers who want to go about it differently than you? What are you going to do? Leave them alone. Put your attention upon the only thing that you can control, which is your relationship to your own empowerment. And then in that alignment, you look out into the masses, and there are masses of those who are not compatible with you. Look out into the masses of them, and through the eyes of Source, see their beauty. That's what unconditional love is. It's being in love without needing the condition to change in order for you to feel that love. And that's the only place that you will ever find freedom. Because as long as your freedom is conditional on one other changing their mind about one thing, you got a lot of splaining to do, Lucy. Yeah. Enough?
Enough.
Really good.
Thank you very much.
Really good.